Tony Basilio welcoming you live, ladies and gentlemen. You're looking live at Columbia, South Carolina. The Vols win 78-59 is the final. Tennessee went off as an 8.5-point favorite and found somebody they can blow out in front of a few hundred people over in Columbia, South Carolina. And listen, if you are a Carolina fan and you're still going to the games and you're not related, you are a woolly as woolly can be, because that is some bad entertainment. As Tennessee wins tonight, and some of the numbers in this game are just eye-popping that we're going to go through here. And Bri, let's just go ahead and start with the huge advantages. By the way, it's Garza Law, Tennessee Basketball Overtime, presented by Marcos Garza, the Garza Law Firm, online at garzalaw.com. Also, we've got with us tonight in the studio none other than Maury Hanks. Matt Diskin is on assignment over at the University of Tennessee, where he's gathering sound right now after today's 7-1 win by the baseball Vols over East Tennessee State. But first things first. 78-59, Vols win. Brian, give me some of the numbers. Give me a couple that pop out at you. And by the way, 865-200-5402 if you want to get into hunting in the mix with us. South Carolina waste a 20-point effort from Meechie Johnson. Just a great – he reminds me, Amari, of a poor version, a poor man's Hubbard from Mississippi State, Maury.
Yes, high volume guys, Tony, get their own shot, and both not on very good teams, and that's how sometimes stats get confused. Unlike baseball, where you can have eight guys on your roster hit 200, usually in basketball, somebody's got to score.
And boy, what an awful team South Carolina has. Tennessee showed some guts and some resolve on the road. Bri, give it to me. What stood out to you on this basketball game?
Well, I think Tennessee finished with 14 dunks. Maybe it was 15, because I'll be honest, I tried to count, and I think I lost count, because they outscored South Carolina, I think 56-18 in the paint. Only 2 Vols in double figures. Okpara and Estrella combined for 42 points, 22 for Estrella, 20 for Okpara, and that's really all they needed. Gillespie finished with the same amount of points as Ethan Berg, both with 8 apiece.
How many
but
dunks
Gillespie
did you
had
say?
12 assists.
How many dunks? Seven dunks, Brian. How many did you say?
I think 14 dunks for Tennessee as a team.
South Carolina gives Tennessee 7 dunks, according to their official box score.
No, there was more. I agree with Brian. There was more than that, Tony.
There was at least 14. There might have been 15.
Really? They're saying.
Oh yeah.
They're saying we were.
There was 6. There was 6 at the half. They had 6 at the half.
They're saying we were 8 of 14 on layups in the game, and we were 7 of 7 on dunks. That's what they're saying.
You might be reading a halftime line.
I don't think I'm reading.
You might want to refresh refresh the page.
Hang on.
Well, if there, I wasn't trying to keep count because I'm not very smart, but I think the number was higher than they're saying.
It says Tennessee led for 39 minutes and 11 seconds. It said Tennessee had 1.3.22 points per possession, which is outrageous in a college basketball game. 59 possessions, 37 scores. Maury, South Carolina is so bad that the statistician over there just said, "The hell with this. I'm sick of looking at it." Must have walked away at halftime, because it says 7 for 7 on dunks. What's your total, Bri, unofficially?
I think I got 14.
All right. You agree with that, Maury?
Yeah, I'm not saying 14, but Tony, a couple of the guards had breakaway dunks, and Estrella and Okpara were just hammering dunks the entire night.
And what did Perry Clark keep saying, Maury?
On lobs mostly.
Yeah, on lobs and like penetration. Gillespie would penetrate and just hand it to him, and they would just dunk it.
He kept calling it the nail and hammer.
Oh God! Oh, yeah, Perry, nail and hammer. I thought that was like possibly like an Irish pub in Columbia when you lived there.
Where is Damian Fishback when you need him?
Oh my gosh!
Oh God! Yeah, exactly.
So
Tony,
Tennessee,
the thing that I was impressed with, again, South Carolina's not a great team, but the way that they shared the ball, I think they had 22 assists on the 33 baskets. So again, and the young guys, as you talked about, Gillespie didn't score a lot, but the two young big guys had big nights, which hopefully that'll give them more confidence, in the games going forward.
Doesn't that show you a lot about Gillespie's being a good teammate, not going out there and hunting a shot tonight? He went out there and wanted to get those other guys going. That's a lot of leadership, I think, don't you?
Oh yeah, I mean, again, he distributed the ball. He made the right play. He didn't, he didn't settle for as many threes early in the shot clock as I've seen him. Again, he didn't make a three today.
Yep.
And as he said, he only had eight points, but I mean, he distributed the ball, had active hands on defense like he's done, most of the season. So I mean, it was you can't be lost that South Carolina's not very good. But Tennessee came out and, got an early lead and I think they cut it. I think they were up 12 at halftime and then they cut it to 46-40.
Yep.
They scored the first 6 points and then they went inside, got a basket. And then from then on, it was over.
I thought that was wonderful tonight. What Gillespie did, his inner's easy. I mean, he just went out tonight and just kind of sort of played the game in front of him. And did his thing. We'll come back. We'll get some calls in. We have none right now. Line them up. We'll talk about it, the early start plus the opponent. It's going to be a little bit of a challenge, but I want to get into some of the other things we saw in this game because the numbers are pretty good for the Vols. And then they're back in action with South Carolina on Saturday. Brian, what time's that tip Saturday?
2 o'clock Eastern.
2 Eastern tip on an 80-degree day in Knoxville. People will be wearing shorts into the game. We're going to come back and continue. Maury Hanks is in here along with Brian Hartman. My name's Tony Basilio. We're presented by Marcos Garza, the Garza Law Firm, online at garzalaw.com. Again, online at garzalaw.com. And, Bri, there are a ton of choices tonight for the Connexial drive of the game. The two big guys tonight had several, Bri. Several in this game.
Well, it's just lobs to Akpara and Estrella all night. I would, as Maury was talking about, it was 46-40. They got within 6 somehow. And it just seemed like Tennessee should have been further ahead than they were, given the fact they were playing so well. And
Not
they were
this team.
running through their post play like it was like a train through through the dark, still night.
Not this
and,
team.
I mean, 46-40, Estrella makes a 2-point dunk. I guess it was a jump shot or something to make it 48-40. And then I guess Boswell's 3-point shot put him up 9 again after South Carolina cut it to 6. So we'll go ahead and just say maybe Boswell's 3. You could give him some credit. He stuck some big jumpers when South Carolina was trying to get back into it.
How about my boy Berg tonight with 8? Shout out to all my friends over at Spurgeon Chapel in Oak Ridge. We'll come back.
Berg shot that 3 ball like he did against Alabama. He drilled this one. Same situation.
We'll continue with more on the other side.
Maybe that's it.
Get you back to this episode of Garza Law, Tennessee basketball overtime, presented by Marcos Garza and your Garza Law Firm, online at garzalaw.com. Don't you dare trust one of these carpetbagger, fly-by-night attorney groups that's come in here from Florida, Alabama, etc. You're going to trust the Garza Law Firm, folks that live, work, worship, grocery shop with you, are a part of your community, are a part of us, are of the earth. Trustworthy, honest legal representation, treating clients like family. Available 24/7 at garzalaw.com. Don't you dare trust one of those carpetbaggers. Shout out to our friends at T3 Vodka. Score you a T3-3 every time with Tennessee's premium vodka. Make it a 2026 resolution, handcrafted with passion, precision, a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka, taking the volunteer state by storm. T3 Vodka, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. 5-time gold medal winning vodka, 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner, and no doubt in the running in 2026 once again. Score a T33 and ask for T3 by name at your restaurants, your wine and liquor stores. Drink it neat, drink it right. T3 vodka, hit T33 every single time, and please drink responsibly. Shout out to Waterside Contracting. Got a dream about building? Waterside Contracting's been making dreams come true for over a quarter century and counting. Hundreds in our area. Custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting. If you want to build on your lot, they'll do incredible work for you. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contracting. Check out the website, watersidecontractingllc.com, or see the link over at tclub.team. Quality without compromise, Waterside Contracting. When it's time for a fresh coat, you're going to run. Don't walk to Walker's Painting. You going to run. But you're not going to hide, because they've been making it beautiful since 1999. That's going on 27 years of serving the living volunteers. Free estimates available. Mention you heard about it here on Garza Law Tennessee Basketball Overtime, and it's 10% off your first job. So let's go. Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting. See the ad in the blog over at tclub.team. And on the way out, I want to remind you, when it's time to play, it's time for VIP play. Why? Because everybody gets treated like a VIP over at VIP play. Claim your VIP play welcome bonus. You bet for $20, you get $100 in bonus bets instantly. The promo code and the phrase that pays is T and Tony. They're live always, 200-plus leagues. All the college hoops you can stand, NBA, NHL, you name it, they've got it. VIP play, live always with 200-plus leagues, numerous bet types, props, options, and if you have a bet in mind and it's compliant within the state of Tennessee, the VIP players, well, they'll make it for you. That's why everybody gets treated like a VIP at VIP play. Gambling problem, 800-889-9789, 21 and over, located in the state of Tennessee to place a bet, VIP play. Speaking of VIPs, we got some folks that want to talk. We'll get back to them. It is your Garza Law Tennessee Basketball Overtime as we come back, and we, ladies and gentlemen, bring it back, and let's hear what's on the phone lines. Take it away here at Garza Law Tennessee Basketball Overtime. And we are going to hear what's on the phone lines as we have one call at 865-200-5402 on a night where the Vols win and rather comfortably and really got out to an early start. And as Brian said, you had to love how early in the second half it's a 6-point. You look up and it's a 6-point game because we can't just begin on somebody and just hammer somebody, just thunderhammer somebody. Just not in our nature, but a really solid win for the Vols without Nate Ament. We'll go ahead and go back to our phones at 864, or go to the phones, I should say, 865-200-5402, as it's Garza Law Tennessee Basketball Overtime, and you're on the air. Hi, welcome in.
Hey, Tony.
Hey, welcome in.
It's Swamp Fox Ball down in South Carolina.
Hey.
I'm at the game tonight.
Oh, awesome, man. You were there?
Yeah. Took my 8-year-old to her first collegiate 9-year-old. Sorry,
oh, that's great. Oh, yeah. When hey, tell her when you get to a certain age, or tell your 9-year-old when you get to a certain age, you start counting backwards.
Yeah, I got 4. You know, they're all in different schools. And
there you go, brother. I know.
We're actually on the way to the game tonight, and they know I listen to you all the time. We're on the way to the game, and she goes, "Is Tony going to be there?" I said, well,
in spirit.
Well, no, he won't. Well, why? Because he stays home. He does the after game thing. And she goes, well, I don't want to go anymore.
Oh, that's cool. Right on. Hey, how many people at the game?
I mean, I've been to JV basketball games with more people in it.
No, seriously, like. They showed at one point, they flashed a crowd, and upstairs it didn't look like there was a soul upstairs in that building, like literally not a soul.
900?
Are you kidding?
I'm at 1,100.
Yeah, it's a pretty bad game. 6 o'clock
There was,
start.
there was, and half of those are Tennessee fans. And,
Yep.
And I'll tell you one thing. There's a dance group in Irmo called Southern Strut.
Yep.
It's a big dance group. And there was probably 75 dancers. Well, you got to think double that number, and not how many parents were there. So really not much. I did enjoy seeing, I've always kind of respected Meechie Johnson. Always thought he was a hard, gritty player.
Yes.
JP Estrella went off tonight. He was in the right place at the right time. He came strong.
Well, they have a front line that just literally does not exist. So
I don't know what we're going to do about I see a lot of times we got our small guys up against big guys, and that's just, I don't know how sustainable that's going to be. But
really interesting that there was that few people there. I hate that was your child's first event, because it's a lot more fun when the crowd's full, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Even like midway through the second half, she was trying to comprehend that, like, we're not at a Tennessee basketball game. We're at South Carolina.
Yeah.
I mean, she could tell the difference because we're surrounded by Tennessee fans.
Poor South Carolina. We were talking today on the Daily Show about just how bad they are in all sports, and I'm watching that tonight and I'm thinking, man, they ran off their fan base. It's pretty remarkable how bad they've been.
Dawn was there.
I saw her. Looked like she was sitting with a couple former players.
Yeah, she had her Skittles and her sour candy all laid out, all to the right of her, all itemized.
Hey, Maury, that Dawn Staley can coach a little bit, can't she?
Yes, she does a great job, Tony. She always has. She was as a great player. She, you're talking about earlier, Gillespie running the show. She could really do that. She was competitive, and she's turned it into a great coaching career.
I remember when I was a kid, she scored 100 points in a game one time in high school. She's bad.
I remember when I was a kid and she took it to Pat Summit and that crew.
I think that's right.
I
think that's right. Yeah, like in the early 90s when Debbie Ryan was at Virginia. I think that's right. Yeah.
I'm going to jump off. I want to let Heidi say hello to you. Hold
Heidi,
on.
yes, let's do this.
Hi.
Heidi, how you doing?
Good.
How's it feel to be 8 years old?
Good.
That's not how old you are. You're 9.
I'm 9.
Well, you're being kind to me. See, you got to correct me like you did your dad and say, hey, tell me about your first game. What'd you think of seeing your first game?
I liked it, and I got Nate's autograph.
You got Nate's autograph?
Yeah.
That's incredible. Now, did you walk over to him and ask him to sign for you, or did your dad do it?
I did it.
Oh, that's awesome. And was he nice to you?
Yeah.
What'd he say to you?
I don't know.
You don't know? All right. Well, I hope you have a great trip back. And can you give me a go Vols on the way out?
Yeah.
All right. Say it to me.
The Vols.
Thank you. Have a great night, Heidi. That's an awesome name, by the way, too. Hey, Maury, since January 1st, 2025, let's update the numbers here, Brian. Did South Carolina play a midweek baseball game today, Bri, or will they have a loss tomorrow? Do we know if they're playing?
I think that was against Power 5 competition or Power 4 competition, so it wouldn't have been against a Power 4 team.
All right, against Power 4 competition, Maury, since January 1 of 2025, South Carolina basketball has played 89 sporting events, Maury, and they've won 15 out of 89 in basketball, baseball, and football. If they don't have Dawn Staley, Maury, they got no chance of winning.
Yeah, it's been a bad run, Tony. They've were not good last year in basketball. I think maybe they won 2 conference games last year. They've only won 3 this year. I don't know who they play Saturday, but it's not been a good couple year run there for the Gamecocks.
Meechie Johnson notwithstanding, Maury, they cannot be spending NIL money on their roster, right? Do you think there should be a minimum requirement that you have to spend in these power leagues? Like, because obviously there isn't, because obviously they're not spending any money on their team when you watch them. They're just not.
Yeah, I mean, Tony, some teams spend more money than you think and just don't get the results. They spend them on the wrong guys. Injuries have a big part to play in that, but also it's hard to, we don't have time for it tonight, but it'd be good for another day. But talk about NIL, like, is it just pure revenue sharing? So if it is, it's 20 million, 0.5. So how much are they, are they giving that much more to women's basketball to take off of that?
Yes.
And as you talked about earlier, losing does not, make people open their wallets. And so, if you're giving more money someplace else and you take back a little bit from revenue sharing, if you go out and try to get the, pay for play type of deals and where other businesses come in and try to get stuff going, you're not going to have that much, but again, I got to believe they're probably the last team in the SEC. Oklahoma's probably 15th.
Yep.
They're probably 16th, but I've got to believe they got to spend a couple $1 million, and they just spent it on the wrong guy. I mean, Michie Johnson's as old as you are.
I'm like,
this is his 6th year in college, Tony.
The guy was here. He was there. He was somewhere, and then he was at Ohio State.
He was at Ohio State for a couple of years. He's from Ohio.
Right.
And then he went to South Carolina for a couple of years.
Back South
2 years ago when they went to the NCAA tournament and everybody got excited.
Right.
Then he left last year, went to back to Ohio State. Something happened. He only played 10 games, and South Carolina took him back.
865-200-5402 if you want to get in the hunt and in the mix and in the hunt with us on a night where you will mix and you will hunt. And Brian, just like that, just as you guys predicted, that Kentucky team's getting whacked right now on the road at Texas A&M as we go back to the phones. It's 45-33 in that ball game. And let's get our next call in on Garza Law. Tennessee basketball overtime. Buckyball gonna get some tonight. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony. How are you all tonight?
Great, thank you.
Good. Hey, when Coach Barnes, first of all, let me say that the last caller, that was awesome.
Yep.
It brought back memories for me, going to games with my father, and it also brought memories of taking my own daughter, which, I'm sure you've had that wonderful times. And the only thing I would say to him would be enjoy it, because it goes fast.
Oh man. I told somebody in the park that today. No doubt about it.
Am I imagining, it's possible now, am I imagining that when Coach Barnes first got to UT that he kind of asked that group, or maybe he told that group, who do we want to be? And they kind of modeled their defense after South Carolina.
No, I don't remember that. No, I don't remember that.
You don't recall that?
No.
Because when they went to the Final Four, they weren't scoring, a lot of points.
No.
They were like lockdown D. I do remember that.
Rick Barnes that's been his mentality. The being tougher than you piece, Maury, on defense, that's a Barnesism from back in the day, yes?
Yes, I mean, Coach Barnes has always been, Providence, especially at Clemson. He held possessions down, played a little bit slower. Was a good all around coach, but really took care of the ball. Didn't turn it over. Shot selection was important, and a really good defensive coach. And he got to Texas, and he was able to get better players, and the T.J. Fords and the Kevin Durant's of the world, and started playing a little bit more up and down.
Well, it sounds to me like Coach Martin might have modeled it after Coach Barnes.
Yeah, a lot of those tough guy coaches out there.
Yeah.
Well, Martin came from the Huggins tree, so that could have been part of it.
He learned all that, just like Brad Underwood. Those guys all learned from Coach Huggins in terms of, they weren't sexy on offense. And Coach Martin still isn't and wasn't at South Carolina. Brad Underwood's kind of got into the 21st century and really is big onto analytics and playing faster and stuff like that today. But Coach Huggins is where they got their, coaching hard and playing good defense.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Hanks and Tony. Appreciate it.
all y'all as always, and go Vols.
Brother, have a good night. You too. 865-200-5402. I do want to get into the elephant in the room here, which is the fact that Nate Ament made the trip today, and I want to unpack that with Maury because there was a lot of conversation on our daily show that I want to get into, and particularly when it comes to these five-star guys, injuries like this, injuries late in a year like this, how to proceed, how they're going to proceed, sort of what I'm hearing, and then if you have a thought on what we witnessed tonight and what this would look like Saturday with Ament or without Ament, I'm on the record as saying if you leave me, if you leave this up to me, he ain't playing for me till we get to the NCAA tournament. If he made it my dime, my dance floor, I'm letting him heal because I know he's got an ankle issue. That he's had an ankle issue, and in my mind, I'm getting him off his feet. But let's go back to the phones. He did make the trip over. It's nice to see him, and he signed for Heidi. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tona. Mr. Hanks, it's Bobby. Hope you guys having a good night.
Call him Maury.
I can call him Maury.
Yes.
I've always called him Mr. Hanks when I met him in person.
Fine.
You
can call him Maury.
But anyways, as far as Nate Ament, Tony, here's what I actually think, and I'll lay it before you guys and see what you think. I think I'd rather be a 6 seed than a 5 seed this year.
Give me your logic.
Well, let's say you get lucky and you beat the 4. Like you get to the Sweet 16. You play the 1. None of those 1s are beatable. 0 of them are beatable. But if you're a 6 and you fool around and you play a 3, there's a bunch of 3s that are beatable.
That's a pretty
There's not a
decent
lot
thought.
of difference in that seed line to me.
Yeah, that's a decent thought, Maury. What do you think? Play from the middle of the bracket.
Yeah, Tony, I would, the 1 seeds I think are definitely a cut above this year. Where in some years, there's not a big difference. I think that there's a 3-4 teams that are much better than everybody else, and then maybe another tier, and then a couple other tiers down. I think as people have seen, and you guys have talked on your show, if upsets take place and it's not chalk, and again, you're talking about South Carolina going to the Final Four. They had 2 major upsets. I can't remember which one it is. I can't remember what I had for lunch, but they played 2 teams they never thought they were going to play in the second round and the third round, and it just broke wide open for them. And that's when you see, teams make great runs that you're kind of shocked with. But
Yes, sir.
I wouldn't, say that he's incorrect in saying that, but I also wouldn't say 100% he's correct because you'd have to see how the bracket started out.
I think that's an excellent point, man, you bring up. From the standpoint of, you get in the middle of a bracket and play your way out versus, and you're right, as a 16, you got to take, or as a 5 rather, you'll see that 1 in the round of 16.
Yeah, because I don't think any of those 1s are losing in the first 2 rounds. I just really don't. I think they're pretty well unstoppable. And then, if you will, Tony, just oblige me. It was so nice to just see us hammer the ball inside and dunk. I likened it earlier when I was chatting with a bud. I said it was like watching us play like a UT chat or something in football where we just run the ball 65 times, and take our 4 touchdown win. That's what it felt like tonight. It's like we're not going to be flashy. We're going to go get a win. And the irony is, we did that without what I would argue is our best player, and we just pummeled them. Our guards, so the guys who really bring the ball up for us today was Berg, Henderson, Boswell, and Gillespie, went for 16 assists and only 3 turnovers. That, to me, is about as good as those guys have played all year. I understand the opponent sucks, but that was very encouraging. I'll leave you with that, guys. Have a great night.
Thank you. I just look at this South Carolina team, and they're just so bad. I mean, Maury, give me one thing that team's good at when you watch them play. One thing.
They showed up on time.
Brian, when you watch them, give me one thing they're good at. I'm being serious. Something they can hang their hats on. They don't rebound.
Well, they get to the free throw line, and they make 70% of them tonight. So
that's a great number. Hell, that'll.
Mark Griffin said that they were a good free throw shooting team if it got close. And Tennessee's Tennessee did not be such a good free throw shooting team. That could be scary, but it never even got close to that point.
I mean, it's just a one-sided beat-down, blowout, hammer job. See you wouldn't want to be.
Dunk by the one-handed throwdown by Estrella to make it 51-44 is probably emblematic of the whole game and just the season for Tennessee and South Carolina.
I would agree with that.
Brian, what was our T3-3 of the game? Bishop Boswell?
I think that was it. I'm going to give it that. I think it was a 51-40. It might have been 51-46, but it was either a 6 or a 7-point game, and Estrella had that throwdown to sort of, and that's the point where the Vols just kind of pulled away from there, and it was never questionable again. I'm not sure it was ever questionable anyway.
No, the game was never. Maury, I never got a sense South Carolina was in that game. Did you, Mo? Even when it was 6 points?
No, but again, I'm sure some of your listeners in that when they saw it go from 40 to 28 and they came out and scored, got it down to 46-40.
Yep.
Like I said, if they don't go inside and Estrella hits that, I think it was a turnaround jumper or kind of a long jump hook, to get it to kind of stem the tide, then it kind of gets nervous time.
865-200-5402 is the numero uno dos. And I would love to hear from you if you want to get in the mix and in the hunt. We were talking before and talked about it on today's show. Rick Barnes confirmed on the post-game show that it's the ankle issue with Nate Ament more than the knee issue. They scoped the knee, and it kind of came back. All tests came back negative, which is what you want. You don't want to see anything structural that happened there, which, hey, he's a flexible kid. I give him a lot of credit. The ankle issue is something that he drug into the Vanderbilt game. I told George Plaster this today. He dragged it into the Vanderbilt. He drugged that into the Vanderbilt game. He wasn't himself. Then he stepped on somebody's foot it was 1 week ago against Missouri. That made it worse. Then he went out Saturday against Alabama, and it wasn't great, as we know. And then he did the thing with his knee, and now he's just all beat to hell. So, but the ankle is a bigger issue than the knee, and we don't know what's going to happen in terms of when we'll see him. Barnes said he'll play again this season. I want to unpack that with Maury, because Mark Griffin said something interesting today that I hadn't really considered, but I want to consider, because Nate Ament is not just a college kid out there. Nate Ament's a guy with a New Balance $8 million shoe deal. Nate Ament's a guy that's getting ready to be probably a later in the lottery pick, which there's a lot of money involved in that. He's a huge investment right now. And he's got a team around him. Not the team that he plays for, but he's got a team around him as well. And I want to get into that. And then if you want to get on the air, 865-200-5402. So the question for Maury when we continue is, you were involved in the NBA for a good 2.5 decades. How does it work with these guys and their teams, the teams around these kids, and particularly now that we're 5 years into the NIL era, and Mo was scouting during the NIL era, so when these guys had agents. Before they had agents, but they acted like they didn't have agents, but now they really have agents. And I want him to walk us through when something like this happens, especially late in the year. Because here's the thing. Anytime I see you now on a floor, you're going to be judged. Does it help him in the eyes of the NBA if he gets back on the court and plays? Does it help him that he's already shown some toughness? Those are questions I have for Mo, and then we'll get a few more phone calls in. As Tennessee tonight houses South Carolina, they dunk South Carolina. Brian says it's 15 dunks for the Vols on the night. Brian, what's the dunk record here? Any idea what the dunk record is in an SEC game?
I would say it's probably somewhere in the teens.
Yeah, it's got to be right around that number. I mean, you're not dunking more than that in a league game. As we continue with more, and I would love to know South Carolina's their NIL, because I bet you NIL over there stands for nil. as we continue. It's Garza Law, Tennessee Basketball Overtime. We'll get you back on this episode of Garza Law, Tennessee Basketball Overtime momentarily. Shout out to our friends at Garza Law. They're online at garzalaw.com. They are attorneys that care. Let us help. And they are live. They are local. They live among us. Don't you dare trust one of these out-of-towners, these carpetbaggers, these people that have bombed the area on our local airwaves. Garza Law, online at garzalaw.com. Whether it's DUI defense, criminal defense, personal injury, Social Security disability, or other aspects of the law, Garza Law has got you covered. They are a fabric and a fabric in this community. What is a fabric? I don't know. But I'll tell you one thing. My friends at Calhoun's are a part of the fabric of this community as well. They've been sponsoring us for over a quarter century. They have been celebrating at the Copper Cellar family of restaurants 50 years of serving the living volunteers. That's right, 50 years. Ladies and gentlemen, shout out to Calhoun's. The taste of Tennessee. Before or after the basketball game for the Vols and the Lady Vols. Also, remember, great party platters when you're hosting. And remember, they also do takeout as well. They are the taste of Tennessee. You will taste the freshness. Calhoun's, the taste of Tennessee. My friends at Connexion present Knoxville's Drive of the Game here on Garza Law, Tennessee Basketball Overtime. The My 20 Drive of the Game. The transportation platform revolutionizing the trucking industry nationwide, right here out of beautiful Knoxville, downtown Knoxville. You take control of your fleet in 2026. You improve your safety scores. You make drivers happy. You maximize your profitability. You make it a winning year in 2026 with KONEXIAL. That's KONEXIAL.com. Put a /Tony on there. We get credit for it. Drive life with Connexion and go Vols go. And you talk about live and local. Josh Collins is a pillar in our local community. What a beautiful guy he is. Look, you can get insurance anywhere, but will you get the Collins insurance difference? Our entire studio in the Raymere studio is insured by Josh Collins and the Collins Insurance Agency. We count on him. We trust him. We've had a few lightning strikes here. They've always been quick to pay. You never know what's going to happen. You and I both know that. See the difference. Experience the difference. collinsinsuranceTN.com. Also, want to shout out my friends at Alumni Hall. Ladies and germs, basketball season. The Vols and Lady Vols, they've got you covered. Also, when you're getting excited about Tennessee and the upcoming baseball season, they've got you covered. Doesn't matter the sport, doesn't matter the season, whatever the reason. Alumni Hall, the ultimate volunteer shopping experience. 3 locations in Knoxville. Also Bristol, Johnson City, Murfreesboro, and anytime around this great world of ours at alumnihall.com. Alumni Hall. Now let's get back to the action on Garza Law, Tennessee Basketball Overtime. I don't know what it's like where you are, but it's incredible here. I mean, we've had some great spring weather. It was okay today. Tomorrow's going to be beautiful. Next several days. By the way, on Friday, we're going to be live at Calhoun's on the River. We're going to have a pair of MVP tickets we're giving away out there, and I'll have a few more to the game that we're giving away as well. So come out, eat some lunch, talk some sports, Steve Russell, and let's do that thing. If you want to get in with us, 865-200-5402 on a night where the Vols roll South Carolina like a spliff in Columbia in front of tens. All right, Maury, before we go back to our phones, let's do a little lament conversation here. Now, my information on Ament's injury is that stuff on the knee came back, but it's really an ankle issue. So now you got an ankle and a knee. He's got a knee that's swelled up, and he's got an ankle that hasn't cooperated. Maury, the teams around these guys, okay? And let's say this. Mark Griffin who's on Tuesdays with us, was on the inside with Keon Johnson. He knows how Rick Barnes took good care of Keon and Jaden. And Mark said he also knows people that have been through injury issues at UT. And Rick Barnes is one of the guys in the sport that's an others person. That's how Mark called it. kind of thinks for others. You don't always get that in these major college sports, and you don't always get it in that sport. But he went out of his way to say that Barnes is a look out for others guy. In other words, he's not going to put somebody out there and injure them if he thought he could cause them further damage. So, Maury, from the perspective of this is multiple questions here, but first things first. Nate Ament has both just a knee right now that's still swelled up, and he's got an ankle issue, but he was shooting off to the side yesterday at practice, I understand, but kind of gingerly, not really, out there shooting like you would shoot to go through whatever. Lay on me here, if you can, how this thing is probably playing out behind the scenes.
Well, Tony, I don't have any inside information or anything, but just knowing Coach Barnes with his reputation, and I've known him a long time, but not great friends with him, but knowing the type of man he is, and most coaches are this way. I don't think they'd put the young man out there until they thought he was 100%. Now, maybe people are saying, well, that's not feasible. Guys can go out there at 80% and whatnot, but in the grand scheme of things, you want to play your best basketball, not Saturday, not even next week in Nashville, but the following week.
Yep.
So if you go out and get dinged up Saturday, or you roll out there next week and you don't get the double bye, you play Thursday and he's still not 100%, and somebody rolls into his ankle or his knee, and then again you've got 5-6 days off, maybe 7 days off to prepare, but you want as much time as possible to heal to where he's 100% the following Thursday or Friday in the first round game.
Maury,
when you lose there's no tomorrow.
When you're scouting, Maury, okay, and you're looking at one of these kids at the top of the draft, does he get points because he's played through some injury since December? Basically, that ankle has bothered him, and then it went away there for a while, and now it's come back. Does he get credit from the next level for being out there, or are you guys made aware of that as they go, or do they keep injury from you? How does that work?
Well, it matters, Tony. Again, I was never perfect, but I did this a long, long time. I was known to have really good intel because, again, this is my 42nd year around college basketball. I coached a long time, and I knew a lot of these guys, so I could probably get information others can't. Some people, some schools, it's hard to get information from. They're not really supposed to talk about injuries that much, but you can talk to a coach and say, hey, how's his pain threshold? Will he play through? There's difference between bumps and bruises and injury.
Yeah.
If you're injured, it's one thing, but some guys are bumps, we're not 100%. Well, Tony, not too many people are 100% after playing 30, 31 games.
Yes. But when when you see
but again,
him,
I think by now you'd know that he's played, through bumps and bruises and whatnot. I think maybe the question you're also trying to ask me is, if he didn't come back and play for the next 2 or 3 games, would it hurt his draft stock? Absolutely not.
Okay. It's very interesting. How much pressure these kids get from these teams, Maury, now they have teams around them? At times like this.
They get a lot from that, but another thing that is just terrible is with the gambling aspect and social media about just how fans could get on. If I was a player, a college player, I wouldn't be on Twitter. You know what I mean?
Never in a million years. I agree with that.
Because all these guys do that, that they have no idea what they're talking about. They just get on there and go after 18, 19, 20-year-old kids.
Yes.
It's just crazy.
It's a cesspool. It's the cesspool of the internet. And I want to thank all of our folks on Twitter Spaces listening to us tonight. Hello and welcome into our next call. It's Garza Law. Tennessee basketball overtime. Maury Hanks in the house along with Brian Hartman on a night where, Brian, give me another stat on tonight's game. Just a crazy stat in that game. What we just witnessed. Look down at your score sheet, Brian. Give me something nuts But in the meantime, I'll go back to the phones. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
No, 56 paint points out of 78 total.
How about that? 56 paint points out of 78. That's a house of pain. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Tony.
Yo.
Can you hear me?
Hit it.
Hey, man, it's Sam.
Hey, buddy. Welcome in.
Hey, Hey, good to be in the hunt, in the mix.
In the mix and in the hunt.
Maury, thank you for being here.
56 paint.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, and Tony, first off, there was some maroon in here when the Lunchy Bunch was on, like, and I hope the guy wasn't being serious, talking smack about Griff, Marky Boy and the Lunchy. I mean, if some of these fans just listened to y'all, they would learn so much about the game and, like, wouldn't make dumbass comments. So, Tony, really...
You know, Sam, one of these days, I'm going to give you, for one day, the power of the button in there and let you just go in there and eradicate people.
Hey, man.
Would you enjoy that?
Well, you're damn straight. Now, Tony, and you need to put out a APB to the local law enforcement, because there's a guy at a Waffle House somewhere around there that if somebody goes in there and is hyped about this game, praising the Vols, there might be an altercation. So just shout out to any law enforcement that might be listening. Somebody might get hit with a waffle at a Waffle House. So anyway, Tony, I've said all along, he has scores down low. All those guys can score the ball. They just don't ever get a fair chance to score the ball because they're telling them to just throw it. I mean, that was a good stat there, Brian. And, you know, listen, I say you put him on the shelf till you start the tournament, Tony. It's always been a damn... We peak at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
We watch our team win these huge games.
Yeah.
And all this talk about seeding and stuff. I don't care anymore, bro.
Yeah.
We had, what seed were we when Oregon State boat raced us?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I just, listen, I feel this is our year. Still, Tony. Let the kids come back at the start.
Why
and
not?
If they put them in Greenville at Bon Secours, son,
yep.
I'm going to tell you right now, I'll be on ESPN, son.
You'll
Go
be
Big Orange,
I don't
Tony.
think they'll
Thank
be
you.
seeded at the point where they would get sent there. I think the highest seeded SEC team, maybe Florida would go there, but whoever the second team is would be sent to Greenville. Florida might go to Tampa.
Yeah, the Vols are out of they're out of that equation right now.
They will not be in Greenville. No.
No.
And I don't think with tonight's win they can drop below a 6 seed in the NCAA tournament.
By the way,
They'll be
Brian,
a 6 at worst.
if the Vols are a 6, right? As an 11, guys, correct me if I'm wrong. You're playing a play-in winner there, right, Mo? Aren't you playing one of the what would you call
Either
them?
that or you're playing one of the last teams in, like a
Power
Power
team.
4 team.
That's right. So I mean that can be be careful what you wish for with our group. You get the wrong team.
Oh, I mean,
across
Tony,
from
with
you.
this team,
Yeah.
with the injury to I meant, and
yes,
not knowing, how if he'll be 100% whatnot, and they're, basically just having 2.5 scores the entire season. I don't think there'll be any easy games in the NCAA tournament.
Totally agree with that. 865-200. It's just the simple truth. By the way, Kentucky is down 64-47. They're throwing up a turd with 13-10 left in that game, 13-10 left in that basketball game. And Missouri is losing as well, right on cue. Some of you told me that was going to happen tonight. And right on cue, it's happening. Hi, you're on the air. Welcome in.
Hey, Tony, it's Zach in E-Town.
Hey,
what is
Zach.
up, my man?
Welcome up.
Hey,
Welcome
Maury
in.
and Brian. Hey, on the issue of Dave being at Waffle House, I just looked at their menu. I wonder if he's having the Delmonico steak and eggs plate.
How about that? Dave sounds like an all-star guy to me. And I could just hear him telling that. I could just hear him telling the server after it's over, that ain't no damn all-star. That ain't no all-star. Ain't no 5-star.
If it was W or Lynn, he'd be having the Delmonico.
Monaco steak, huh?
That's right.
You
remember
the
good old days.
There you go.
Maury, is there any chance when you have a guy like Ament that his people, his whatever you call it, his
handlers,
say we're not, because I know Cooper Flagg got hurt last year. I think he took a little injury right in I think it was in the ACC finals or something, but he came back, I think, for the Sweet 16. Is there a way that, do you think it's possible that Nate Ament gets set down by his handlers?
I don't know the young man. I've just heard great things about him, but I mean, I'm not saying it's never happened, but until I see it happen, I'd be shocked. Because as Tony mentioned earlier, he's played with nagging injuries for the last month or so. He doesn't seem like the type of guy that would just shut it down. But again, you never know. And again, nobody knows his true injury. That's the thing about these idiots on social media and stuff like that go after players. Nobody knows just how severe they're hurt.
Yeah, it's like hockey. They don't give out they don't reveal the injuries until the end of the year. But is there anything? Because I was feeling really negative. We went to the Alabama game and watched another double-digit. I think that was the third game I've been to where we watched a double-digit loss slip away. The front court played well tonight, but do y'all think that there's anything that we can take from that given the opponent? Because I'm trying to find rays of sunshine.
No, not really. I mean, other than you execute, you go on the road, you execute, you played very well. You did exactly what you did, exactly what you should have done. You executed the game plan to an A-plus level. You were in a sterile environment, which again at times can be hard to generate your own juice. I've had coaches tell me that when you're playing in a gym where there's nobody there, a lot of times you have to generate your own juice, which I thought Tennessee did a nice job with that. But in terms of taking things out of tonight's game, look, South Carolina by far has the worst front line in the league, and they are an atrocious basketball team, which really makes me appreciate this Kentucky bunch, because 1 week ago, Kentucky went there and played that same exact team with the same exact players, and it was a tie game with 3 minutes left. Now, Kentucky pulled away late, but under the 4-minute timeout, that was a contested, still up in the air basketball game.
And Kentucky was playing a home game with more of their fans in the there somehow.
Oh, that's right. They brought the whole Big Blue Nation down to South Carolina.
That's right.
Okay, well, thanks, Tony. I appreciate y'all for doing the post game. It's always great to hear the insight. And thank you, Maury. Thank you, Brian and Laura. See y'all.
865-200-5402 if you want to get in the hunt and in the mix with us. The South Carolina fans, it's wild. Maury, I would love to know the disparity. We think Kentucky's payroll is around $21 million. I would love to know what the Oklahomas of the world and what the South Carolinas of the world. And one thing Maury pointed out to me, which is true, Vanderbilt's best player when they come in here Saturday is a transfer from Oklahoma. Now you let that one settle. Let that one digest. I was around the days of Billy
Tony,
Tubbs.
That's hard to believe, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, when we were in the days of Billy Tubbs, okay, and CM Newton was down there, I don't think that was happening back then, Mo. Guys were transferring from Oklahoma to Vanderbilt basketball.
No, I mean they're not Kansas, they're not Duke, but they're still the University of Oklahoma. Their last 3 years, they haven't been able to keep their leading scorer. The kid, what's the kid's name at Kentucky? Ottawa?
Yes, yeah. Owe.
Yeah, he played at Oklahoma. I mean, the last 3 years, hopefully Oklahoma doesn't piss this game away, because they're up 17 now with under 12 minutes against Missouri.
It's wide open for Tennessee right now.
In the Alabama-Georgia game, I think there was a clock issue. There's a delay there for some reason. I think it has something to do with the clock.
That's fantastic.
Or the scoreboard or something.
That's fantastic. A malfunction.
In beautiful Stegman Coliseum.
What a gym, Maury. You talk about a cathedral to college basketball. As we get ready to go back to our phones, hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tone, it's CK Bogey.
Hey, Bogota, not in Columbia. Welcome in.
And don't think that my throat is due to screaming at the game tonight, because that has nothing to do with my voice.
You have what they call allergies.
Well, I got a head cold. First time in 6 years.
Stay away from me. I'm not going to kiss you about the neck next time I see you.
That's right, sir. A quick thing. If you want to see drama queens tonight, watch the Alabama-Georgia game. Those two coaches are so full of drama, and they've had so many issues. There was a clock issue, whatever. But this thing is crazy. And I'd like to know, we're cheering for Georgia here. I mean, if Alabama loses, can Tennessee improve in the tournament coming up next week? I know it's good if Kentucky loses. We know that. But what about Alabama?
They were 2 games behind Alabama coming into tonight, and they'd be 1 game behind them. It's too bad they let that game Saturday get away, because they'd be safely in the top 4.
Yeah.
With the nice win, they probably would clinch their spot in the top 4 and the double bye that comes with it.
But as it is, the Vols are going to have to win Saturday, right, Bri, to knock down the 4 seed?
I still think if Vanderbilt were to somehow lose at Ole Miss tonight, Ole Miss is coming in off a win.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt's in the middle of 3 straight in the road. I think that would knock Vandy 2 games behind the Vols with just 1 to play, and I think that would probably seal Tennessee's top 4 spot. I believe they would have it locked down tonight if Ole Miss were to beat Vandy in Oxford tonight. I think.
Right. Oh, and one other thing, it is official. There are 15 dunks. It was
15 dunks. They've altered the number. Okay, 15 dunks.
15 dunks. South Carolina.
That's 30 points on dunks out of 78.
I mean, that poor South
never
Carolina.
Seen anything like it.
I like it. One kid that they have. Where is he from? Like the Mongolian kid. I mean, they need the Mongolian stomper out there. That guy was awful. Maury, where'd they get some of these guys?
Halfway around the world for that.
Maury, his parents flew halfway around the world to watch that.
It showed the travel they had to make to
Seoul.
I mean, you think Danny White?
It was terrible. But you know what? It was an amusing part to break up that bad game.
Oh, no question. It's a great story. But Danny White, you think he'd have brought him like some free popcorn? They came halfway around the world.
I mean,
to see that dragging.
That's a long way to go.
What was better, Maury, in your humble opinion tonight? Quality of play. Perry Clark on the mic or that South Carolina effort? Who had a better effort tonight?
Well, since I had to come on your show, I had to watch the game.
Yes. But
like I tell some of my few friends I have here, the mute button is maybe the greatest invention of all time.
Somebody said here that family went 9,800 miles to watch that. God.
Maybe that's where some of the NIL money went.
I need Holly to let me know how many seconds that is. She needs to count the seconds in 9,800 miles.
Between here and Mongolia, how many better basketball players do you think they passed up?
Oh, there's no question, Bri. I'm telling you, the stomper, Archie Goldie himself at power forward would have done a better job tonight. He at least would have gotten in a few forearm shivers and maybe a heart punch or two under the goal. At Bogota and Columbia or not in Columbia, anything else for us, you punk and clown?
Yeah, I got one. Because
I know you're watching that indoor golf. I know you're watching that indoor golf tonight with your boy Tiger Woods.
You ain't kidding, bro. You ain't kidding.
Maury, do you watch that indoor golf stuff? I got friends that bet on it and watch it.
I do, Tony. I'm not sitting there glued to it, but if I've got nothing else to do, if it was between that or listen to your radio show, I'd probably watch the indoor golf.
Let's go.
That's a nice one. Hey, Tony, I do have one takeaway here.
Yes,
and it's something I thought you mentioned in one of your comments, a hot take, that Estrella looked like he just didn't have any power off the floor. Tonight, I saw some lift.
Yeah.
I mean, they did let him wind up a few times on some of those dunks, but he had some lift and jump, and maybe he's getting healthy.
It was good to see. Now, I'll tell you what, when Carey comes down and he dunks 4 or 5 in a game, then get with me. Thank you. Good talking to you.
No, but Tony, he's right. But again, if you look at the dunks he had, they were all in space where he was able to play off of 2 feet.
Yes.
Where he could 1-2 gather and get some lift. And he can do that when he plays in traffic and he can't gather like that. He's got no pop.
It's a really great point, and that's one of the things that goes when you go. Mo,
and by the way, Tony, I'm just looking that up.
Yeah.
The guy from Mongolia.
Yes.
He has played. How about this? Is pretty impressive.
All right, hit it.
Dayton. He must have been a pretty good player. Dayton. He started 20 games as a freshman. San Francisco started every game he played. Utah. He started 29 of 33, and he started every game he's played at South Carolina.
Not bad.
I mean, again, he's not, Shaq or something, but he's, averaged 11 points this year, 7 at Utah, 7 at San Francisco.
Not bad.
Yeah, that's not terrible.
No, it's not bad at all. Again, I'm back to this, Maury. What is that South Carolina bunch? Because I knew Michie Johnson probably got a bag to go back home or go back wherever. But the disparity in this league on some of these rosters is pretty interesting. It's like that in the women's game, too. In the women's game, you've got 5 or 6 teams that are spending on it. Tennessee's one of them. And then you've got some of these teams you watch, Brian, and you think to yourself, did they just pick up 5 gals at the YMCA?
Well, it looks like they're shooting in a moving basket.
Yeah.
Like somebody's moving the basket around.
Yeah.
Tony, that's why, in coaching searches, coaches would go talk to ADs and their agents and how many years I'm going to get, how many, what's the salary, what's the bonus structure, what's the payment for my staff.
Yeah.
Now those are maybe second, third, fourth. The main thing is how much money do we have in NIL? How much is the commitment from revenue sharing? How much is from the outside? And, I've talked to coaches that are like at lower level Power 4 schools. And the job that if it comes open, I'm not saying it's going to come open, don't want anybody to get fired, but the school that's basically like the Duke, Arizona, Michigan of their league is Memphis. I mean, they play an NBA arena. They got good boosters. They've got a ton of players in the area. So if you never get kids to, transfer back, if they're not happy where they're at, I guarantee you there's Power 4 coaches that would leave their job to go there because they're they're the number one job in their league. And that's what coaches are nowadays. The business has changed.
I wonder, Mo, what happened there with Penny. Because here's another thing that happens, and you and I both know this goes on.
Didn't his entire coaching staff leave him before the season?
That was before last season.
Yeah, remember he had that big mass exodus of guys. Yeah, but here's the thing about him: he's a legend down there, and so he's going to get, he's going to be really hard for them to run off because it'd be like Tennessee running Bernard King or somebody off. I mean, he's just an all-time legend there. The deal though with him is that it looks to me, Maury, like they don't get the budget in NIL that he once did, which is another thing that happens to these guys. When the boosters say that's kind of enough for you, inevitably it becomes enough for you because there's only one way to get players. You can talk about rev share all you want, but at a school like Memphis, you still need somebody to step up and stroke the check. Yeah. In the meantime, though, the Vols have Vanderbilt on Saturday. We'll look ahead to that game. Get a call or so in if you want to get up with us. We're wide open for you after that thriller tonight. I knew tonight was going to be a pulling teeth evening in terms of phone calls because really, what can you say about that game other than good to get out of there without any injuries? What's going to happen with Nate Ament? And how does this portend toward the rest of the season? We've covered all that and then some, but we'll come back, get a few more thoughts in, set it up for the weekend, and continue. It's Garza Law, Tennessee Basketball Overtime, presented by Marcos Garza, your Garza Law firm, online at garzalaw.com. as we continue on the other side. And by the way, 2 more dunks on the board for Estrella. He just went for Dos Equis. Dos Equis, 2026 Cervezas Mexicanas, as we continue with more after this. Get you back to Garza Law, Tennessee basketball overtime momentarily. Fast-flowing show today, as they all are, and life flows quickly at you. Look, you're going to need an attorney you can count on. That's why Marcos Garza and the Garza Law Firm here for you. They are live and local. They are one of us. They are of this earth. They are not from Alabama. They are not from Florida. They are not from Atlanta. They are not one of these fly-by-nighters that have bombarded the area with all kinds of crazy marketing and crazy promises. They are us, ladies and gentlemen, your Garza Law Firm, online at garzalaw.com. Whether it's DUI, criminal defense, personal injury, Social Security, or disability, they got you covered at Garza Law, online at garzalaw.com. You talk about one of us, you bow thy head. That's the great Allen at WeShipFloors.com. Whether you're a contractor or a homeowner, WeShipFloors.com, their pricing is utterly insane. You will literally save thousands. Supercore floor, it is the real deal. Whatever you do, go to WeShipFloors.com. Check out the room visualizer on the website. You can drop in any of the 120 Supercore floors virtually into your room and order a free sample today. It is that simple. You order a free sample, it makes us look great, but you're also gonna, when you see the product and you go on YouTube and you check out WeShipFloors.com, that's WeShipFloors.com, right out of Johnson City. Millions and millions and the millions of square feet in stock. WeShipFloors.com. Save thousands on millions. WeShipFloors.com. And while we're on the subject, I want to say, raise a glass. It is time, ladies and gentlemen, for our friends at Dos Equis. You are going to go for Dos. Say it, know it, and write it down. Dos Equis Lager Especial. When it's time to celebrate, when it's time to nestle in and watch the Vols all winter long. Dos Equis Lager Especial, that golden Pilsner-style beer made from the choice of hops. A balanced composition, a smooth, clean finish. The party guest always invited, never overstays his welcome. Dos Equis Lager Especial. You can dress it up, rub that bottleneck, that can, that glass, that rim. Put a little lime on it, dip it a little salt, and lick and drink and repeat, and you'll come back again and again. Dos Equis 2026 Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York. Yo soy Antonio. Go for Dos Equis. Also, how do we perform at our best? It's called performance medicine. I want to encourage you to check out Performance Medicine's YouTube channel. You'll be very glad that you did. They are absolutely incredible at performance medicine. Dr. Rogers and his gang want you healthy. They don't want to treat you when you're sick. They want you to stay healthy. Take control of your wellness. Personalized health solutions that fit your life. The approach of performance medicine puts you first, focusing on comprehensive, proactive solutions, empowering you to achieve optimal health on your terms. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, you feeling drained? You struggling with your weight goals? You feeling foggy mentally? You dreaming of radiant skin? You name it, they've got it. Performance Medicine. Online at performancemedicine.net, and check out their YouTube channel. They are incredible people, helping hundreds and hundreds in this audience. And now, without further ado, let's get back to another edition of Garza Law Tennessee Basketball Overtime. Going on my 72nd minute here after this game, or maybe that's a little inaccurate. Maybe about 60 minutes. I don't know. 20 minutes is enough after that one, as the Vols get the W, but boy, it's Garza Law Tennessee Basketball Overtime. Saturday, a weebly and wobbly Vanderbilt team comes to town, Bri. A Vanderbilt team, Bri, that lost in baseball tonight, Bri. Another midweek game. What's up with Vanderbilt baseball?
Yeah, they lost to Central Arkansas. I think they're 7-6 overall.
Wow.
Speaking of which, the Vols went 5-4 on the road in SEC games, and I remember some people talking about how they would be lucky to win one or two of them.
That's a great point, Maury. 5 road wins is nothing to sneeze at in a league like this.
And at Vandy, at Georgia, at Bama, that ain't bad.
That ain't bad at all.
No. I mean, it's you know, they back in the day, a million years ago, Coach used to talk about win your home games and split on the road.
Yep. And they always focus on the ones that get away. How this team let that Kentucky team that's down 76-61. Now, does Kentucky have another comeback in them tonight? 5 double-digit comebacks this year, 4 in SEC play. They trailed by 21 tonight, and it looks like they're on the comeback trail. No, they're not. Let's go back to the phones. I just tried to get excited there. Let's get our next call in at 865-200-5402. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony.
Yo.
Hey, man, this is Catholic Vol down here in South Carolina. How's it going?
Catholic Vol, welcome in, my friend.
Yeah, we just came back from the game. We're driving from Columbia back to Charleston, and we had a blast. It was a dunk fest, my friend.
A dunk fest for the ages. How many living Vol fans in the place, in your humble opinion?
Oh, to be honest with you, it was a lot of Vol fans. A lot, yep. My son's in the back here. He's excited. He got to meet Nate Ament tonight. And J.P. Estrella and Gillespie, they came back out after their...
that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
How old's your son? How old's your son?
He's right here. He's 9.
Remy, that's fantastic.
Hi, Tony.
Oh, what's your name, my friend?
Remy.
Benny?
Remy.
Spell that for me.
It's R-E-M-Y, Remy.
Oh, what a great name. I love that name. Whoa!
Thank you.
You got the job, Remy. Okay, now talk to me here. Now, the guys you met Estrella, you met Amen and Gillespie. Who was your favorite of the 3 that you met?
Ament.
Ament?
Yeah.
And did he say anything to you when you met him?
He said, what's your name?
And what did you tell him? Remy. And he couldn't understand you, right?
He understood me.
Oh, he did? He better not. Okay, so let me tell you this. I've been to when I was your age, I've been to a million trillion different sporting events and things like that, and never once did I meet one of my favorite players. So, man, that is really cool for you. You had a great night tonight. That's great. I am so glad to hear that. You've got me smiling right now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you enjoy the game? A Catholic Vol laid on me here. This that Carolina team. I mean, do they have anybody inside? Because the Mongolian Stomper would have been better than their Mongolian, in my humble opinion.
About 7 times we had to alert number 24 that 34 was his man. Felix Agpara literally took his lunch money and made him like it.
Maury, when you're that wide open that much in a game, is that just because they have nothing there, Mo? Or is that scheme, or what is that? Or is that a little bit of everything?
Oh, Tony, it can be a lot of things. It can be, they're way overmatched. It can be that the scheme's wrong. It can be, again, I'm not saying it happened tonight. Some kids just, after they get hit in the face, and like I said, it's 46-40. And, when they didn't cut it down, it gets up to about 10, 12 points. The will to fight through it kind of goes away. I think it's a combination of a little bit of everything.
It's pretty interesting.
And Missouri, by the way, is still getting trucked. They're down 19 right now.
By the way, Miami of Ohio won tonight to stay undefeated, and Bruce Pearl really stepped in it when he talked about them the other day. He wants his son in as an at-large, but not that Miami of Ohio team if they get beat in their tournament. Anything else for us tonight, Father of Remy?
No, we just wanted to thank you for doing this show.
Thank you, man.
You're getting us home, and for us away Vol fans, it feels like a little slice of home. Being back in Knoxville, that kind of thing. I'm from Knoxville, so We really appreciate you, and thanks for talking to Remy. We had a blast.
Hey, listen, when you get to town, okay, and we're down there at Calhoun's, or if you get to town, email me and let me know, and I want to meet your family, okay?
Okay.
Thanks, Tony. Rock and roll.
You got it, brother. Rock. It's been a long time. Been a long time. Been a long, lonely. 5:44 to play,
Georgia's
Brian.
going to beat Alabama.
Hey, Brian, does Kentucky have
Georgia?
Does Kentucky have enough runway here with 5:44 left to reel in this A&M team? They keep doing this over and over again.
Did
you say Georgia's beating Alabama?
Well, they're not playing Tennessee, so probably not. Yeah, Georgia's up 97-88 with 20 seconds left.
What the hell's going on?
The only thing, Tony, with the way A&M shoots the ball, there's 5.5 minutes left. I think Kentucky will get enough possessions. I just think it matters if they can play any defense. But Texas A&M's not going to run 20, 25, 28 seconds off the shot clock.
Oh, no, they're going to keep shooting. Yeah, which is why, because they never change the way they play. You believe in that style of play, Maury?
I don't personally. I think you need to be able to play at different paces, different tempos, things like that on the road and at home, what time. But again, I'm sitting here talking to you on the radio and not coaching. But like I said, I've always been a believer you had to, fit your players. You can go out and recruit them, but if guys get hurt and whatnot, you don't have the players to play that system. You have to change it.
What do you think of this Miami of Ohio team, Maury? Are they any good?
Tony, I've just seen highlights. Travis Steele is he was a longtime assistant at Xavier when they were very good. Mm-hmm. He went to Xavier. He got the head job after Chris Mack left. Mm-hmm. He did not do great there. Xavier's a great job, Tony. Great fan job. Base, really nice arena. Mm-hmm. And one of the better jobs the Atlantic 10 and didn't win and got fired and then got the Miami, Ohio job. A fun fact, him and the head coach at Akron, John Gross, are brothers. They've got the same mom, different fathers. And John Gross is a very, very good coach. Was won at Ohio, went to Illinois. I think went to the tournament one time, but didn't do great. Got fired. Got to Akron, and I mean they've won 25, 27 games the last 3 or 4 years. I think it's won a game in the NCAA tournament the last couple of years.
Brian Vitti, that's very interesting.
If they go 31-0, again, if they're not in the tournament, something needs to happen.
In other words, they go 31-0 and they get beat in their conference
tournament. And if Akron
right?
Akron's probably the second best team in that league.
Yes.
And Akron lost to Miami of Ohio at Miami of Ohio in a close game. Akron had the lead, I believe, in the second half and lost. But let's say Akron beats them in Cleveland. Their tournament's in Cleveland. So if they would lose, I can't believe, because again, it's not like you're in, and I'm not putting these leagues down, the MEAC, the SWAC, even the OVC, the Max, a better league than that.
John Pelfrey's out today, by the way, down at Tennessee Tech, if Ken Miller's listening. And shout out to Mitch Barnhart, who's fixing to retire at Kentucky. And his basketball hire is a little suspect here.
Speaking of Kentucky, A&M went 4 minutes without a field goal, and they still led by 13. Then they just hit a three to go up 82-66 with 4.5 to play.
Back to the phones we go. Get our final call in here, and it'll be our last call for alcohol. Let's get our next call in. Hello and welcome. You're on the air.
Hello, Tony. This is Lukey Dome.
There you go. That's your last call for alcohol right there.
This is Lukey Dome, Tony.
How you doing, brother? Good to see you the other day in the park.
I love to see you, man. That's some great playing you did. I really enjoyed that.
Oh, you're a good man, brother, sitting there hanging out with me.
Yes, sir. I've got a question for Maury Hanks there. Maury it seems to me like he's a little tentative, and it seems to me like he ought to stay at Tennessee another year to get some seasoning and be a little bit more aggressive. What do you think?
Tony has a better chance of not only growing hair but being a good-looking man. If he's the 10th pick in the NBA draft next year, he's guaranteed $15 million. If he comes back and blows his knee out, That, like I said, that's not going to happen. Now, what you're saying is I'm not arguing that fact. Most players that go to the NBA aren't ready to play.
Yes.
But the NBA drafts on upside and potential. And now and again, it's been that way, for the last 10 years or so. When, back in the day when I first started, kids would play in college 3 and 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
You look at all the great players that used to play in the 90s, for 3 and 4 years. And like I coached Clemson. It's a long time ago. Horace Grant played 4 years in college. Eldon Campbell, God rest his soul. I just went to a memorial for him last month.
Loved Eldon
He
Campbell.
played 3 years. I mean, you don't see that anymore.
Nope.
But Nate Amend, if he's the 10th pick in the draft, which I'm kind of guessing he'll be in that area, he's guaranteed about $16 million over 3 years.
Yeah.
He can go there. They'll still draft him at that number. He'll get paid that amount, and then he can still get bigger and stronger there as compared to here.
And if it doesn't work out for him, he come back and play for Nate Oates one day.
Yeah. But they, I'm glad they're getting the money, but I think it's awful. They shouldn't. Young players are getting money like that. And they're not even 25 years old yet. Dads and grandads work their butts off to make $25,000 for the whole year.
Oh, look, these Maury and I were talking today. These athletic departments are spending themselves into oblivion, Newton-John, right now. These teams, these athletic departments are spending money they do not have. I mean, Louisville's losing money. Who is it in the Northeast, Mo, that lost like $41 million?
Rutgers.
$41 million, and they joined the Big Ten. They get a big piece of that pie.
Yeah, that's another sign of the end of time.
It's a sign of something, Lukey.
Hey, I went to the baseball game today, Tony. And,
how was it?
It was good. I stayed 6 innings, and they had a big lead, but they got an elevator problem. The last 15 rows up in the upper deck of the stadium.
Yep.
They was telling me you could use the elevator, but I went to 3 elevators, and they said, you can't use this elevator. And went to another elevator. You can't use this elevator. You're not supposed to use that elevator. They had me all over that stadium.
Wait a second, Luke. You're telling me, no, those are the luxury seats.
Yeah.
Those are the you had those seats, the suite seats.
No, I was in like section over there in the 200 section.
Well, you can't get to those with an elevator.
Well, they told me, they was telling me that you can. The lady said you could use the elevator, and then when I went to use it, I'd go down and say, well, you're not supposed to use this one, but you can go down and use that other one. Well, I go down to use that other one, and they said, well, you're not supposed to use that one.
It sounds to me like somebody's playing games at you today, my friend.
Yeah, I was walking all over that stadium. It was unreal. But,
you're the man, Luke.
He got your exercise and steps in. That's good.
Yeah. One more question.
Yeah.
Do you think? What do you think about Gillespie, Maury? What do you think about Gillespie? You think he can make it in the pros?
I mean, he's got some good qualities. He's, in my opinion, and at the NBA, if you can score, it really helps. How do I say this? He's more of what the old school guys call a lead guard. He's not a true point guard, and he's not big enough to be a true 2 guard. But the way the NBA is now, where scoring's a premium, I'd give him a shot. If you had to put a gun to my head, also now it's a lot different than when I started scouting. They didn't have the G League. They didn't have 2-way contracts, exhibit 10s. Guys, if you can be around number 15, 16, 17 in a roster, you can be brought up and back and down. So could I see him being a guy like that? Yeah, because he can do a couple different things. He can, pass the ball. He's got a pretty good feel. He can make shots. But is he perfect? Is he somebody that's got great size for a 2 guard, or is he a pure point guard with just jet speed? No, but he's a very good player.
He's got a pretty good body on him though, Mo. Like physically.
No, he's not. He's not undersized.
No,
he can play through contact.
Yes.
But again, it's just I'm not going to tell you that he's going to make it or he's not going to make it, but I will tell you that he's got a chance.
Yeah, he can drive that ball. He hardly ever misses the shot when he drives it.
Luke, you close this beer joint down tonight. I hope you have a Dwight Gooden. It's been incredible being on Garza Law Tennessee Basketball Overtime with you tomorrow. We'll be back. We've got a lot to talk about in tomorrow's show. It's going to be unbelievable, Andy. Brian's got his patented Lady Vols softball report coming your way. Matt's got some thoughts on the baseball team with 2 games this week and then several this weekend. But Matt's got a report there as well tomorrow at tclub.team. I'll have some thoughts about these festivities in these parts. Anything else for us, boys? Great night, guys. Thank you.
No, Tony, thank you for having me.
Gillespie, yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to say thank you for having me on. And what you said earlier is one of the few good points you've made. They got in, they did their job, they got out, nobody got hurt. They played with good purpose, and hopefully, Estrella gets off the snide, and this gives them some pop for this important run down the stretch.
Thank you, my man. Good talking to you guys. Thank you, Brian.
Yep. Take care.
Tomorrow we'll bring it at you. Watson Brown will be in the mix and in the hunt and in the hunt and in the mix. And the Lady Vols had a player quit, I guess, today because, I don't know, she didn't get put in a game or got put in the game the last 15 seconds. Or let me tell you this. I don't know if I'd coach today for all the tea in Mongolia. Okay? I don't know if they drink tea in Mongolia, but sounded good to me. Love you, appreciate you. Love your show. Spread the word, Thunderbird. What's the price? 40 twice. We really appreciate you. Shout out to Marcos Garza, the Garza Law Firm. All of our great sponsors. As you get the opportunity, please support these businesses that help keep us afloat. And as you get the opportunity, please spread the word for us. Remember, we're down at Calhoun's Taste of Tennessee on Friday. The deck is back open. It's going to be like 80 degrees. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. And so it'll be a lot of fun. Till we meet again, for all those behind the scenes, hope you have yourself a great one. And I hope you have a great night. Be blessed. G to the B to the O. Matt Dixo, we missed you. We missed you, Dixo. Peace. And boy, that was a game, wasn't it, y'all? Wasn't that a game? To those of you that might have been winding your way out of the bowels, and I do mean the bowels, of that arena, because that looks like an arena with some bowels in it. Shout out to the 2 youngsters I interfaced with tonight. Let me tell you this, because I know both of you are still in your car traveling. You're why I do this show. You are what this is all about. I want you to know that. And it was an absolute honor and a pleasure and a privilege, an absolute privilege, a privilege to talk with you. So glad you and the rest of the youngsters got a chance to experience tonight's Tennessee victory. We love you. Peace. Tony Basilio welcoming you live, ladies and gentlemen. You're looking live at Columbia, South Carolina. The Vols win 78-59 is the final. Tennessee went off as an 8.5-point favorite and found somebody they can blow out in front of a few hundred people over in Columbia, South Carolina. And listen, if you are a Carolina fan and you're still going to the games and you're not related, you are a woolly as woolly can be, because that is some bad entertainment. As Tennessee wins tonight, and some of the numbers in this